Hey everyone, it's Melissa here. Welcome to today's YouTube Live. It's Wednesday, January 7th, and I am going to be doing these lives on a much more regular basis. Just getting back into the groove here for the new year. If you're here live or watching the replay, please say hi in the chat. Let me know that you're here. I would love to connect with you. So, if you have ever wondered, what did I do wrong to create this in my life? Or when things get hard, this live stream is for you. Your challenges are not proof that you've messed up. They're information, they're guidance. And today I'm going to show you how to start seeing them that way. So here's the issue with a lot of spiritually aware people like you and I, like those of us who would watch this kind of a YouTube channel, is that when a challenge or a problem pops up, we automatically assume, oh no, what did I do wrong? Why did I attract this? What is wrong with me that then I have manifested this bad thing into my life? Or perhaps you've even been seeing it as a punishment, as negative karma, right? And if you're thinking that way, that's going to put you into a spiral of shame, overthinking, paralysis, feeling stuck, right? And it's certainly not a pleasant place to be. It's a down feeling, it's a negative vibration. So I want to reframe this for you today and help you to start asking the right questions. Rather than saying, what did I do wrong? What did I do to deserve this? Why am I being punished, etc.? I want you to reframe that question. Challenges don't mean that you're off your path. They are indications that something needs to shift. It's the universe calling you to upgrade yourself and your approach. So, one of the key truths that I work with, and that is part of the Way Shows College training, is you are here to learn and grow. Let me say all five while I'm here. You are energy. You are here to learn and grow. You have a unique purpose and thrust. You are free and you have inner guidance. So, on a soul level, we are attracting opportunities, people, situations, experiences, challenges into our lives. It's like a magnet of energy attracting and drawing things in. So when I say that, it may seem like, well, yeah, of course, I'm responsible for this, right? If something bad happens, that means I've done something bad to attract it. And that's where I want you to place this reframe. Because many of us would automatically go there because we're feeling that low self-esteem. We're maybe not trusting ourselves. We're maybe feeling like we don't trust our inner guidance or that there's something wrong with me. Now, that might not be a conscious thought, right? But it could be a subconscious thought. And by the way, I see a few people hop on live. So please say hi in the chat. Let me know that you're here and where you are in the world. It's always fun to connect with you. So rather than saying, oh, well, that challenge or that problem is happening because I've done something wrong, let's insert a different question in here. Let's say, what is this calling me to? What is spirit and the universe guiding me to shift in my approach? They may be saying this approach doesn't work anymore. So what could I do differently? It's often an indication from the universe that you've outgrown a certain opportunity, that you've moved beyond it, that you are being called to growth, to expansion, to do things differently, right? In order for you to keep up leveling yourself. So many of the spiritual seekers that I talk to want things to be smooth and harmonious in their life. It's totally understandable, right? Why wouldn't we want that? But the thing is that if we have a smooth and easy life all of the time, there's not really that pull toward growth. If you really take an honest look back at your life, when have been the times when you really were called to change, to grow, to up-level yourself? It's probably when things weren't working. It's probably when something happened that you didn't expect. Perhaps even a tragic circumstances. And if that's you, I totally send you love and backing and empathy. It's not to say this is always easy to handle, but if we really look back in hindsight, we can often say, okay, that was the time when I was really called to change, right? And again, I see some people hopping on live. So if you're here, please say hi in the chat. Let me know where you are in the world. So this means as a soul, you are constantly up-leveling yourself and your growth. And so when you've reached a certain plateau of growth, it's like you need to up-level your circumstances. So as I'm sharing this with you, I'm thinking of my situation where I was married for 15 years. There was definitely some growth and positive things in that experience. And then I got to a point where I had outgrown that situation. That person was actually, not intentionally, but they were holding me back from my growth. If I was to stay in that situation, I would have been backpedaling rather than up leveling. And so, oh, hi, Marta from California. Glad you're here. Sorry, I said that wrong. I'm not sure your real name, but hi. Yeah, so it was very challenging. It was very tough. It's one of the hardest things I've had to go through in my life. But I knew deep down that if I was going to keep living my purpose, that I was going to keep growing, if I was going to keep being fulfilled and keep fulfilling my service to others, then that was the change that I needed to make. Okay. So, what is it in your life that's calling your attention? 2025, I think, was a rough one for a lot of people for different reasons, right? And part of that, if you look into the numerology, and I'm not saying I'm expert at it, I'm not. I probably need to spend some time actually researching because it's quite fascinating. But in numerology, 2025 was a 9 year, so it's a completion of a cycle, and now 2026 is a 1 year. So we were wrapping things up in 2025. We were releasing what didn't serve us. And often that means that there's some turmoil along the way. And we're being called to change. Oh, hi, Martha. She says, I've been following you for 3 years. I love that. Thank you, my darling. So for me, some of 2025's challenges were actually more in the business and financial area. Many of the things that I was doing before, especially during COVID when we were in a totally different landscape and totally different circumstances, right? Those things were working really well at that time. But I didn't change my approach. I just kept doing it. And all of a sudden, it wasn't working anymore, right? My people were not responding as they did before. And I had to start looking at, okay, what is a different approach that I can take? Because although I had some tough moments, I knew deep down inside that I'm still being called to do this work. And I'm passionate about it. And I would not have been doing it for as long as I have, which is at least 20 years now. I just had my 48th birthday yesterday. So wish me happy birthday if you want. But I wouldn't have been doing that for so long if I wasn't so passionate about it, right? There's a pull inside of me to continue to share. So I knew that that was solid and strong, but it was just that there was a different approach that needed to happen. And I'm still kind of in the messy middle of all of that. But if things had kept working as they did in 2020, I wouldn't have been called to make these changes. And these changes that I'm making are helping me to grow and expand spiritually, as well as to uplevel and expand my service to other people, right? So, what is it in your life? What was really challenging for you in 2025? I've heard some people say it was relationships. Some other people that I've been talking to have said there were some health challenges. So, what is it for you? And can you start to take a look at that from that perspective of what up leveling am I being called to? What is the growth here? What is getting my attention? What needs to change? Right? If you want to share publicly, I would love to hear as much as you're willing to, because I know a lot of this can be very personal. But please do share in the chat if you're inspired to do so. I know everyone will learn from each other. I really like to foster a very supportive community, non-judgmental community. And that is actually, speaking of those business changes, that is one of the changes that I'm going to be making. All of these ideas in my head are going to take some time to actually implement, but at least now I have clear direction, and I'm very excited about that part of it, right? That's what we need at this time when we're feeling so disconnected and we're all on our phones, but how are we talking to each other, right? So that's part of it. So please do share if you feel called to. Another little thing that came up yesterday that actually is what got me inspired to share on this topic was I had it's called core therapy, but you could think of it as sort of a massage, what do they call that? Pressure point massage. I've had a little bit of niggling back pain from an injury that I had a couple months ago. And this modality has always helped me when I've had things like that in the past. So I've had 3 of these treatments now, thinking that, okay, if I just keep following up on it, this pain is going to ease and go away. And it wasn't bothering me as nearly as much as it had, but it's still there a little bit. And maybe with one more session, I will be able to move through this little niggle that I've had in my back. And today, I'm feeling like the pain is actually worse. So, this treatment that has been amazingly helpful for me in the past, in this situation, I'm starting to realize, this is not the approach to take for this health issue that I'm having. It's worked amazingly for me in the past with other things, and I would recommend it to anybody. But after 3 sessions and I'm still not feeling better and maybe even feeling a little bit worse, okay, I need to take a different approach, right? Have you ever been in a situation like that where there's a part of you that just kind of wants to keep doing the same thing you've always done and just hoping and praying it's going to work? Because let's face it, sometimes changing, it takes more energy, it takes more effort. It's kind of a pain in the butt sometimes, right? But I had to accept, okay, you know what, Melissa, I think in this situation, I need to go back more to a traditional medical approach and actually have a doctor see what's going on here. And, I love alternative practices and healing and all of that. And then there are some times when, okay, that's actually not hitting the mark. And so I had a moment this morning where I said, okay, I need to admit this to myself. And I made an appointment with ortho to start to see, okay, what's the next step? What do I need to do here? Because I don't want to keep living with this. It's just it's not like it's affecting my life, but it's annoying, right? So I was working with that this morning and saying, wow, I really love to share this, how that gives me information to see what's the next step. Sometimes when we It's only when we step into an experience and take action that we'll see, okay, this is the next step. This is the next approach. Maybe I need to course correct. Maybe what I'm doing is good and I just need to keep going. It's that sense of evaluating and, seeing what do I learn from each step. I hope that makes sense. So, as I'm sharing, think of a recent challenge that you've had. It doesn't have to be a huge thing, right? It doesn't have to be a divorce, or it could just be a little thing that's come up in your life, but something that's been bugging you. And we're going to walk through this together. Just looking at my notes here, I planned a little kind of technique for us all to do here together. So again, bring to mind something from the last week or month that's been a little challenging, right? Maybe emotionally, logistically. Ask yourself, what might this experience have been trying to show me? Where have I been ignoring my intuition here? And what small shift in approach is this inviting? Okay, so I'll share those questions again because I said them kind of fast. Whatever that challenge is for you, what might this be trying to show me? I just was working with a client this afternoon where she's a caregiver for her husband who is declining health wise. I won't share any more of her personal situation because she didn't give me permission to do so, but it's been a very fast decline. And so she's grieving the fact that the person that she was married to is really no longer there. And she kept saying, I want to know why this is happening. I want to know why. I want to know why. And we finally came to some clarity for her in seeing what is the growth that she is getting from the situation. Not that it's her fault, right? Not that she did something wrong. Not why would I choose to be in the situation where I have to be a full-time caregiver 24/7? But what is the growth, right? I hope you can see the shift there because it's a little subtle, but in a way it's not subtle. It's quite healing and revealing. Okay, so the next question is, where have I been ignoring my intuition here? Right? So my intuition was telling me that maybe I needed to go see a doctor for this little back issue, but I ignored it. Let me wait till the new year. Let me have, and then it was very clear. Okay, I can't keep going down this track because I'm actually in more pain today. And then the last question is, what small shift in approach is this inviting? That is really huge. Sometimes it's just that shift in perspective or a little shift in approach that will open up a lot of clarity for you and knowing the next steps to take. So if you feel comfortable, do share that in the chat. My challenge was X, and I think it's asking me to X. And if you're watching the replay, please share as well, because I'll come back and connect with you after the fact. All right. Well, if anybody wants to share, please do. I know you're probably still kind of regrouping all of that. So realize that when you stop treating challenges like punishments and start treating them like messages, your whole relationship with your guides, your angels, will change because then you're more open to receiving that guidance and that support. When we have a fixed picture and a fixed idea of how things should be, we're kind of closing off possibilities and new ideas coming to us. Our guides have, sorry, we kind of live in this box of our own understanding and experience. We all just do. But our guides can give us ideas outside of that box. And sometimes they're giving us ideas that are beyond our current understanding. And so we have to be open. And we have to be aware and sensing What's going on in the environment and what information is this telling me about my growth and my evolution? So you'll be more open to listening to your guides and saying, okay, what's next? And that's where that trust can deepen. And that's where your intuition gets sharper. So remember, you haven't done anything wrong. You're just being invited to grow. I hope that was helpful and inspiring today. If you would like to connect deeper with your guides and trust your inner guidance and stop second guessing the messages that are coming through for you, I invite you to the free training that I have. It's called How to Hear a Message from Your Angels. And I will go ahead and put a link in the chat for that so that you can get that free resource and go ahead and start practicing, trusting and listening to the guidance that's available to you, because it's always there. You have it. You have that intuition, you have that inner guidance. Now it's just a matter of trusting it more and eliminating that second guessing that gets in your way. So that's communicatewithangels.com/hear your angels. And I do want to share as well, since it's very timely, I am running a sale for kind of celebrating my birthday and the new year and all the things with this fresh start energy that we have in January. I'm running a sale for 2026 of 26% off my private sessions. And that's only running till January 10th. So the one that I recommend that you start with is called the Orientation, Gifts, and Guidance Consultation. So if you want to have help understanding about what your current challenges are all about and how your guides are working with you, you can book that Gifts and Guidance private session with me. We'll look at your energy, you'll learn your strongest psychic gift and the messages that are coming through for you right now, and establish a closer communication with your guidance so you have a method of clarifying what's in your best interest, what's your best timing, so you know the best steps to take based on that guidance that spirit is bringing you. So I forgot to grab the page for that because I cannot remember it off the top of my head. So I'm just going to pull that up right here in the background as I chit chat with you. Here it is. And you want to use the coupon code 2026 to get 26% off. Okay, so this is the Gifts and Guidance private session, and the coupon code is 2026. If you have any other questions about anything about my services or any other questions at all, you can always contact me at support@communicatewithangels.com. And if you have any other questions while you're here live or watching the replay, feel free to let me know. My microphone cord is pulling on my laptop. There we go. That helps. All right. So I'll just give you a moment to ask any questions if you would like to. Waiting for a delay. And if not, I'm going to sign off for today. Hope you are having a wonderful 2026 so far. Keep trusting that inner guidance. I'm going to be back posting on this YouTube channel regularly. I fell off the bandwagon a bit in 2025, but we are back and I'm so excited to share more with you. So until next time, have an amazing day. Bye for now.